When it rains, it pours, they say. But what about a monsoon? That's how it felt when the first letter arrived. My ex-husband didn't just hire a lawyer. He hired a hurricane aimed straight at my reputation. Each envelope was a cold shiver, a threat to my career. This wasn't just about money. It was about destruction. I felt suffocated, trapped in the tight grip of betrayal, whispers echoing around me. One afternoon, when the weight of it all was too much, I ran into a friend. I could see the worry in her eyes. "Did you hear? The FBI's looking into him," she whispered. The air crackled with tension. Questions raced through my mind. Why was I suddenly a target? I could almost feel the heat of the eyes watching me, judging. Panic seized my chest. Every letter that arrived felt like poison, dripping slowly. I trembled, my heart pounding against my ribs like a caged animal. I could almost hear the buzzing of the rumors, each buzz sharp and slicing through me. What would they say next? The shadows of my past crept closer, bringing memories I thought I buried. I remember the chill of that day, gray skies swirling with uncertainty. I stepped out feeling the gauzy fog wrap around me, making me feel invisible yet oddly exposed. The world seemed to smirk. People whispered, pointed, their expressions a mosaic of judgment. Is it really true? Is she so? Those voices swirled around me, ghostly secrets unspooling like thread, threatening to unravel everything. My stomach churned, bile crept up my throat. I had so many unsaid things, but how could I voice them now? A flutter of hope ignited with the FBI news, but it was extinguished quickly. Was I ready for this? Could I fight back? The stakes weren't just my reputation anymore. They reached far deeper. I caught sight of a familiar face in the crowd. It was him. Those icy blue eyes locked onto mine, sending waves of icy terror through me. My heartbeat quickened, terror mixing with longing and rage. I was trapped in a moment that felt like eternity. And then, a loud crash shattered the tension. A nearby car collided with another, glass shattering like my composure. All eyes turned, gasps filled the air. The distraction gave me a brief reprieve, but I knew it wouldn't last. Was it just coincidence, or was he pulling all the strings, orchestrating chaos just to watch me squirm? The shadows felt heavier. With secrets sizzling and jostling at the edge of my mind, I realized I stood on a precipice. Was I strong enough for the fight ahead, or would the truth drag me down into the abyss? I took a deep breath, feeling the cool air suffocate me, the ground beneath shifting. Maybe it was only the beginning, and the worst was still waiting. Before you go on, let me tell you something. A lot of people have been saying that YouTube, out of nowhere, unsubscribes them from the channel. Take a quick look to make sure the red button is on. That way you won't miss any of the videos still to come. And while you're at it, hit the like button, because it really helps me keep bringing you stories like this. Oh, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to know. My breath hitched as I turned to flee the crowd, and my eyes locked onto something on the ground, a crumpled piece of paper. I picked it up, trembling. The words burned into my mind, searing my heart. Your silence will cost you everything. I staggered back, nausea twisting in my stomach. Had I been blind all along? Trust shattered. It was from him. But the worst? The line I never expected to read. I know about the apartment. My pulse raced. It couldn't be real. Could he really know? Panic clawed at my chest, the air growing thick. Did I ever really know him? People whispered, eyes darting. Their judgment hung in the air like smoke. I felt exposed, raw, vulnerable. I glanced back at him, and he smirked, that cold, knowing gaze. It was a taunt. Suddenly, my phone buzzed, vibrating insistently in my pocket. I pulled it out, my hands shaking. A message flashed on the screen. "Meet me at the cafe, or I'll expose everything." My heart dropped. What secrets lurked beneath the surface? Was I truly ready for this? Each tick of time echoed, amplifying the noise in my head. Desperation surged. Could I face him again? Would he ruin me irrevocably? The weight of the unknown pressed down like a heavy fog, suffocating. I looked around, faces blurring. Everyone felt like a stranger. Was this the moment my entire life shifted? Would the truth consume me? I stood there, frozen, the world spiraling into chaos around me. I stood frozen, my heart racing like it wanted to escape. Each second stretched, thick with dread. I glanced at the cafe down the street, the message pulsing in the back of my mind. The crumpled paper burnt in my hand. But then, my phone buzzed again. It was a video. My breath caught. I pressed play and saw him. My ex, smirking, staring at the camera with that haunting glimmer in his eyes. "You think you know me?" he sneered. My stomach twisted. He revealed something I could never have imagined. "You're not the only one with secrets, you know. I found out who your father really is." Ice coursed through my veins. My heart forgot its rhythm. What did he mean? Every lie I ever believed crashed around me. Hope twisted into betrayal. The crowd murmured, faces shifting, curious, disgusted. My world felt upside down. All my carefully built walls crumbled. Did he really know? What would that change? My hands trembled, and I looked back at him. He relished this. Was this just a game? Or was it a devastating truth? I stumbled back, shaking. How could I trust anyone now? That question hung in the air, heavy. Would I expose everything or hide deeper? I stumbled back, my heart racing. The world blurred around me. My hands trembled as I replayed his words in my mind. Secrets, lies. But before I could gather my thoughts, someone called my name. I turned, and there was Claire, my sister. "Did you see this?" she breathed, holding up her phone. My blood ran cold as I read the screen. A news notification. Local woman linked to FBI investigation. My stomach dropped. This was bigger than I imagined. "Claire, what did you do?" I whispered, feelings of betrayal crashing over me. The shock in her eyes mirrored my own. "Nothing. I swear. I thought you knew." Knew? My head spun. I had no idea what was happening. But then her next words twisted the knife. "It's about Mom. She's involved too." Mom? The ground beneath me cracked. My breath hitched as I processed it. Was my entire life based on a lie? A low murmur spread through the crowd, judgment radiating like heat. Whispers turned into a cyclone of noise, swirling around us. Panic gripped me, cold and unyielding. "What do you mean? How?" I stuttered, desperation clawing at my throat. "Just trust me. I'll explain everything, but we need to go now." I weighed her words, fear and doubt wrestling within me. How could I trust anyone now? But I felt my world shattering, and the silence after those words held a sinister promise. What had I walked into? What else had I missed? The truth loomed large, and I was standing at the edge. Would I dive in or run away? The ground swayed beneath me as Claire's words sank in, sending a wave of nausea crashing over my senses. "Mom?" My voice trembled. The reality felt like ice in my veins. "Shh! We need to get out of here!" she hissed, glancing around. I could see the fear in her eyes. But then, In that heavy silence, she dropped another bombshell. Dad, he's not who you think. He was involved too. A tight knot formed in my chest. My father? Betrayal coursed through me, suffocating. Claire, you're lying, I gasped. My hands shook, and the world spun. I found something dangerous, she whispered. I felt my legs weaken. It tore through me. Everything I believed was built on lies. The whispers around us grew louder, my reality crumbling into dust. I stared at her, panic clawing at my throat. What else aren't you telling me? The look on her face was one of utter defeat. I didn't know until recently, I swear. But hurt pulsed through me. How could I trust her now? Before I could process, my phone buzzed again, the message lighting up the screen. Meet me. I know everything about your mother. A chilling wave of dread washed over me. Every breath felt like a razor. What had I stepped into? Could I bear this truth? The crowd closed in, judgment thick against my skin. I was on the brink, teetering. With the weight of the unknown pressing down, I knew this was just the beginning. My heart raced. The world spun, and Claire's words hit me like a punch. I didn't know until recently. Panic clutched at my throat. What had she uncovered? Tell me, I breathed. I felt dizzy, sick. The crowd pressed closer, their eyes heavy with judgment, whispering like a storm. She glanced around. I didn't want to believe it. But Mom, she's not just involved. She's in danger. A new shudder ran through me. Danger? My mother? What do you mean? I gasped, barely holding it together. What if she's not who you think she is either? Her gaze flickered with fear. My world tilted. Claire, stop! My hands shook, nails biting into my palms. What are you saying? But just then, I heard a voice. My ex. Cold laughter sliced through the chaos. Did you really think you could hide from the truth, darling? Every nerve in my body screamed. I felt unmoored, waves crashing around me. And then I saw it, just over his shoulder. A figure, lurking. Someone familiar. My breath caught. It was my mother. But the look on her face, fear, regret, I didn't know. The world closed in. You shouldn't be here. I shouted, voice trembling. But she just shook her head, tears glimmering. It's time for you to know the real story. My heart sank, squeezing tight. Would I like what I heard? Darkness loomed. What if everything I believed was a lie? What else was about to break? The air grew still as I stood there, teetering on the edge of revelation. Could I handle it? And what would happen next? No, stop! What do you mean she's not who I think she is? My voice broke, panic squeezing my chest. Mom? I felt my knees buckle. This couldn't be real. She's not your mother, Claire whispered, her eyes wide with fright. What? My breath hitched. Everything twisted inside me. What do you mean? I found papers, adoption records, she rushed out, urgency flooding her words. Mom was an undercover agent. She faked her death to escape. A cold wave crashed over me. My vision blurred. No, that's impossible. But the crowd shifted. They murmured, eyes darting between us. Judgment hung heavy. I felt exposed, raw. Look at her, someone hissed. I staggered back, disbelief churning in my gut. Claire, you're lying. She shook her head. I wish I were. My heart raced, pounding against my ribs. How could I face her after this? What else haven't you told me? Suddenly, my ex laughed again, the sound echoing. You really thought you knew everything? The weight of his words crashed over me like waves pulling me under. What do you know? Enough, he growled. My phone buzzed. Another threat? Meet me, or I'll tell them all your secrets. I gasped, dread pooling in my stomach. Everything was spiraling. My hand trembled as I glanced at Mom again. She averted her gaze, shame etched on her face. Mom, I whispered, the air thick with an unnameable fear. What had I stumbled into? Her silence was deafening. Does she even care? I couldn't breathe. Each thud of my heart echoed in the chaotic silence. Was I ready for the truth? Would it destroy me? The looming shadows twisted, promising pain. I felt the weight of my mother's gaze, a suffocating silence wrapping around us. The truth clawed at my insides, but before I could process it, Claire grabbed my arm. You need to hear this. Her voice shook. Not just her, it's us. You and me, she whispered. Us? My chest tightened. What do you mean? I found this, a photo. We're not full sisters. My breath hitched. What? The world tilted. Different fathers. I didn't want to tell you. She was shaking now, eyes wide with terror, but my pulse thundered. Betrayal sliced through me. Cold sweat pricked my skin. No, that can't be true. But her silence said everything. The crowd grew restless, whispers intensifying like a storm brewing. My heart raced, my life shattered in a heartbeat. How could I trust anyone? All those years, were they a lie? The truth hung heavy between us, suffocating, dangerous, a storm ready to break. Would I lose her too? Panic coiled tighter, and I could barely breathe. What else lay hidden? What were we fighting against? Claire, wait, I rasped. But the chaos around us swallowed my words. My heart pounded like a drum. Too many revelations clashed in my head. What do you mean, different fathers? Tears streamed down her face. You need to understand, it's not just our family. It's bigger. Mom worked for someone dangerous. She left a trail, and now they're coming for us. My chest tightened, a vice closing. What are you saying? I could barely breathe. There's a file, a list of people she betrayed. We could be on it. The crowd gasped. Some murmured. The air turned ice cold. Claire, are you serious? My mind raced. What else is there? She stepped closer, urgency in her eyes. I stole it, hidden at home. But if we don't leave now, it'll all come crashing down. The weight of her words sank in. My entire history felt like quicksand. What had I been living? Just then, I caught movement behind her. Mom stood, paralyzed, disbelief etched on her face. Mom! I cried, torn between dread and anger. Is this true? But her lips were sealed, silence screaming louder than any accusation. The pavement trembled beneath my feet. I stumbled back. My heart froze. Only doubt remained. What if the truth wasn't just devastating? What if it meant my life was a lie? A cold sweat trickled down my spine. I wasn't ready for this. The world felt hollow. An unanswered question hung like a storm cloud. Who could I trust when everything I knew was shattered? I felt the ground shift beneath me as Mom's silent glare etched betrayal deeper into my heart. Everything you've known is a lie, Claire urged, tears streaking down her cheeks. Shouting voices faded. My breath turned shallow. We're in this together, I whispered, desperate to believe. Mom took a step forward, her voice barely a whisper as she confessed, I'll protect you, but you need to trust me. I nodded, an unsteady resolve forming within the chaos. As the crowd dispersed, I felt a flicker of hope battling the darkness. Together, we could fight back. Together, we could reclaim our truths. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support for the stories that matter. Don't wait any longer to share this journey with your friends. Confirm your channel subscription to ensure you don't miss our next exclusive tales. Hit that like button now to help the algorithm spread the word. And please, let me know your thoughts and theories about this ending in the comments. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. If you liked my story, keep going and watch the next one that's appearing now. I think it will move you too.